That's crazy. Oh, he's gonna attack it. Watch out, watch out, watch out.
The Bitcoin and crypto communities spend a huge amount of time attacking each other. This can be a really ruthless space. After all, the stakes are really high with billions on the line. This space is definitely full of drama, but it's absolutely also full of people who are going to shape the future. This series is all about finding those people and those projects. The next Google, the next Amazon are here, and we're traveling the world to find them. This industry reminds me exactly of my experience during the rollout of the internet and the dot-com boom. It's early days right now, and for that reason, we want you to follow this series. We want to educate, we want to inform, and also entertain. So yeah, that's the Real Cryptos. It's our attempt to bring as many new people into the space. We hope you support that. Please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to sponsor the show or be in it, or let us know who you think should be in it, there's a link below for that as well. So in the show, we're going to talk about the different crypto communities, the level of support for people like us, content creators. So yeah, enjoy.
What a beautiful background, man. Wow.
You want to swap some Bitcoin stuff for, that's the coolest t-shirt I've seen in crypto so far. Should stand up and show the people.
This is the best t-shirt, guys.
Yes, but it's awesome.
Run BTC. It's not Run DMC anymore. It's now Run BTC.
Awesome.
That's right, bitches.
All right. Thank you for joining us, people. We've got two of my favorite people back again, Vesa and Didi, and we'll have a bit of a chat about Didi's titties.
Yeah, Didi's titties are all over the place.
Fuck hell. Yeah, I shot.
Huge. Huge. Are they really that big, Didi?
Fuck you, dick. Yeah, I need to start training again. Oh shit, I can't say fuck you on the YouTube. Fuck you again.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. No, man, I need to start training. Yeah, it's you know, it's a challenge. It's confronting. You go on stage in Vegas. You are being body painted by one of the best artists in the world, in crypto space, all over the place, who did a beautiful job and, you know, comfort me like what I didn't feel like awkward at all, of course. And then with this daddy figure, without having any preparation, training, nothing, man, it was a difficult job.
When I said you have big titties, I mean that's a very well developed pictorial muscle set you've got there, mate.
Fuck you.
Well, I had to cut the picture off because it is a family show. Halfway down, we know how the rest of it looks.
Wait, next year.
Exactly. Hey guys, thanks for joining us again. So, Vesa, you want to maybe sort of take the reins here and tell us a bit about how this all came about?
Well, I just released an article on News BTC a couple of days ago about it, and I had, for the first time in a long time, just a little bit of time to actually think about everything that had unfolded and what it really was about. And of course, it all started with your kind introduction between us, and the more I got to know what Didi stands for and what the whole thing is, because basically, like, if you follow the crypto Twitter, you follow a lot of different sort of the internal workings of the crypto space. It's quite volatile, and I in some ways I started reflecting on how does that feel like to new people who we really need coming in, the fresh blood into the space. How does it reflect on them to come into crypto Twitter and start to see the kind of vitriol with which sort of people are at each other's throats with, and the humble and sort of ambassadorship of how Didi does this, and to basically go around the world to invite people into this space and tell people why it's important, beyond those of us who have a relative amount of self-interest in the space already, or investments and things and greed come into place, and competition in a certain kind of way, is that there's not too many who are doing the ambassadorship outside of the crypto bubble, and people keep talking about mass adoption a lot. So I just thought in my head, how many people have turned away from crypto just by coming to see some of the videos and the fights and the slandering that goes on which to a relative degree is of course necessary. I mean, we do need to oust a lot of there's self-regulation going on. There was a good comment by Ken Bozak at World CryptoCon just a while ago, where he just said that, you know, regulation this and regulation that, but no one sees fucking BitConnect here, do they? So they're not really welcome in this space. After you've burned your face or you've done something bad, it is starting to self-regulate in that kind of way, and that's the positive side of the vitriolity. But yeah, in my opinion, what Didi is really doing and what's in that art piece. I know, Didi, you didn't like the face that you had there, but I decided to keep that one because it's open. You have this sort of, it's almost like you're holding a beacon to ships that are passing by, and just showing and telling what this whole thing is about and why it's important. And I just finished listening to all the unscripted episodes of the best talks of Andreas Antonopoulos, and I got reminded of how steep the mission is, how important this whole thing is to communicate to the whole of the world, where billions of people literally are in need of some of these solutions, and what it means to the collective evolution of everything. And then how ridiculous some of the sort of vitriol is in comparison to that, and how few there are of those who in a balanced kind of way invite new people in for that mass adoption thing. So that's what this art piece stands for, is like Didi's own personal journey, which I don't have to go into because most people know you by now, what you're doing. And of course, I saw you live talking at the Litecoin Summit, and that was there wasn't really you don't leave anyone cold with your mission. And of course, I wanted to bring in the van that you travel in and your family's there, also because as you're supporting this whole mission and the community, your family is supporting you, and you're the whole of the thing of you're all invested in this thing in a beautiful kind of way. So I wanted to honor that, and I'm very pleased that you actually liked it, that it was something that you could sign off as well. And I think in your face, it just reflects of how you do the ambassadorship, and that was important to show to the world.
Well said. Didi, response, sir?
Yeah, I did not like it. I really loved it, man. It's like it's to see yourself on paper in a painting. How crazy can life get? You know, you just take one strange step in life and you end up being body painted in Vegas, and there's an art piece being made of you. You know, and I deeply respect what Vesa is doing in this industry and what he has done for art, but also for crypto. I think in that way we are doing the same thing. You know, we are trying to get people into crypto for the true fundamentals and not just for the trading aspect, which is I cannot say fucking here. Which is a really hard...
Come on, Didi, out the fuck with it.
Hurry the fuck up, Didi. What are you fucking saying?
Is a really fucking hard fucking way, because if you do not sell trading advice, you don't get followers. It's that easy. You don't get to survive in this industry. If you sell trading advice, even if you don't trade yourself and you just say, oh, I think Bitcoin is going up, you will get 200K Twitter followers and your message reaches a lot of people. But if you do what Vesa is doing or what I am doing, he's creating something where you need really talent for, you know? He's creating art. And I'm just traveling like this minimalistic lifestyle with my family and, you know, spreading the word through YouTube videos and how we spend Bitcoin all over the world. You don't get that amount of followers because people are just still mentally in a mindset of greed. More money.
And
that I think is the hard part in Bitcoin now, because I think the core fundamentals of Bitcoin is not to accumulate more wealth, but to distribute wealth all over the world by having developed a peer-to-peer cash system that everybody can use. So I think it's a difficult task, but you know, we still like it as a family, but sometimes we start to doubt, okay, are we doing the right thing? You know, we have invested more than 3 years already and in Bitcoin, you know, in the community, in helping people to understand why Bitcoin is so important. But yeah, sometimes I think there also comes a point that you need to understand that you can do whatever you want, create kick-ass videos, everything, but you're just not reaching the following you should be reaching.
So next Wednesday, people tune in for the Sean and Didi Trading Show, where we talk about number go up.
Hey, what the fuck? Can I join? I need some followers too, buddy.
Sorry. And Wednesdays.
I've traded Pokemon cards.
Top shitcoin trader.
Actually, even that's a lie. I've never even traded Pokemon cards, but I'll give advice.
Yeah, you know, it's not that difficult because everybody who's giving advice is giving the wrong advice. Bitcoin is doing the opposite. So that's the second part. I don't know, but I don't want to whine because we are talking about how we can positively influence this industry. We just do our best, and I love the thing we are doing. And we haven't made videos the last 2 weeks because of Christmas and New Year, so we're going to pick it up again and start to make videos. But we are going to focus with our videos also to digital nomads at the moment because, you know, that industry is huge and that people love to see this traveling family as well. And Bitcoin is a huge part of us. But we haven't seen, to be honest, I didn't see the love back from the Bitcoin community as I would have expected it.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel.
I can see the love back. You know, if I see people let's talk, for example, Bitcoin Cash. If I see people promoting Bitcoin Cash is giving them love back. The community is supporting them. Even Roger Ver supports them. They're doing whatever. I see the same at BSV. I see the same at Verge. You know, if I do one tweet of Verge community supports you. They all help you. Litecoin. You know, we were there, Vesa. I have never seen, I think, such a community that really helps each other and really is searching for solutions to spend Litecoin all over the world. And as if all those currencies are now helping and building and doing stuff, Bitcoin is probably doing the same on the background somewhere, you know, but it's not that I see this active community that supports people that really go all in Bitcoin. I just need to be honest.
That's probably the problem that you have with true decentralization, because most of those others are accused of being quite centralized in one way or another, which in certain terms could be translated as leadership. And since Bitcoin really doesn't have leadership, and that's one of its best features, but it's also one of the weak points, because you can't rally a community behind it in a similar kind of way, because no one can really rise to the top of the hierarchy in a certain kind of sense, so it doesn't hit all the points of the human evolution that we've had for millions of years, for people to have that kind of self-interest to put it out there, even though the sort of financial incentive is quite massive. But yeah, I suppose it's a more scattered community in that kind of way.
Yes and no. I mean, it's called the tragedy of the commons, supporting something that can't really give back to you. But in saying that, you know, you look at somebody like the guy from Peter McCormick. I mean, that guy's making he's making some serious cash in this space, just doing audio podcasts. So, you know, look, there are people out there that are paying for that type of thing. I'm not quite sure why you haven't got a couple of very significant sponsors there, the amount of work you put in.
You know what it is, Sean? It's not for me about that making cash part why I need this community. You know, I need the community to support your story and to support you in any kind of way of finding other people all over the world, finding NGOs, finding poor people, finding places where you can educate people.
Correct.
But
with that finance, you can really grow your media and your following is really where I'm going with that.
Even free accommodation. Invite me to your place. Let me sleep at your place if you're a Bitcoin person. It's all the things that you can help. And that's what I try to say. And I understand what Vesa is saying. And if you look at the humanity and the evolution of humanity, yes, it's true what Vesa is saying. But on the other side, if you look at the same evolution of humanity, it's becoming time that the stronger people help the weaker people. Mm-hmm. And we have some pretty strong people in the Bitcoin community as well. Yeah. So, you know, of course they became filthy rich of doing what they did, but then they now must have time as the strong people in the industry to help other people as well to, support the whole Bitcoin community and support the whole decentralizing of the world and support the whole crypto. But I agree with Vesa. Bitcoin is the most decentralized currency, so it's more difficult. But even in that community, there are strong people.
Oh, of course there is. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And yeah, but it doesn't matter for me, you know. We just do what we do, and we love it. And yeah, sometimes it's difficult, but you know, we are just searching for help. Like if we are in Spain, man, invite me. There was a family in Spain that invited us. We sleep there, and we educate local people. That's what we like to do.
All right. Well, let's see. Where are you going over the next 2 weeks? Let's put a call out to host the Bitcoin family. Well, give us your agenda, and let's see who comes forward, and we'll get them on a show. We'll get them on a show.
We are coming to the second pain point for us, because that's the thing. We are the most unstructured, organized family in the world.
You look after Didi, you get a hat, and you get a Bitcoin chain. I'll even throw on some socks. I got Bitcoin socks.
Oh my God! If I
and a Bitcoin tie.
Sorry. It's so difficult. If I tell you yesterday, we woke up yesterday, no, the day before yesterday, we woke up in the Netherlands. Our plan was to go to Bulgaria. So the apartment was empty, the car was packed, the kids everybody was ready. We were in the van. We started driving with this van to Germany. In Germany, we received a text message from our host in Bulgaria, Blockchain Valley, and he's like, okay, at the moment I'm sick. Can you come a week later? So, I am in this van, 3 kids, my wife. Yeah. We don't have clothes for the winter. We don't have jackets, nothing. I'm driving to the coldest area in Europe. So I look at my wife, I'm like, so if we drive now, that means we stay 4 weeks in 0 degrees, snow, and we don't have jackets. What are we going to do?
Yes, well, Didi, here is a clip of... I'm going to put a little clip right here. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. So my wife looks at me and she's like, but we can go there, but yeah, so we need to spend time inside. So I'm not going to spend time inside. So let's look at the options. And then my wife says, okay, yeah, my mother is living in Spain still. Maybe we can drive to Spain. From Holland to Sofia is 2,000 kilometers.
Oh, God, you've gone the other direction.
From Holland to Spain is also 2,000 kilometers.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, what is the weather over there? It's 15 degrees. Okay, let's drive to Spain. But that means we were on the outer way from Germany. So we turned around. Now we drove all to Spain in 2 days. Now we are in Spain, 15 degrees. But now the next step will eventually be we need to go back to Bulgaria. But now it's 3,000 kilometers extra. So life... I can never predict where we are. So it's difficult. But the goal is Bulgaria. Second goal is I will fly to Asia for 2 months because I really need the sun, the beach, and the palm trees. And then in that time, the van is being redesigned by Blockchain Valley, new sponsors and everything, because there are some big plans over there and they need the van to prepare it for the next part of the tour. And after 2 months, we fly back from Asia to the van, and then we start to continue to Montenegro, Albania, Greece, Lebanon, and then we continue the tour. So probably 2 months Asia, where I can start and promote Bitcoin and other currencies with my backpack.
So how do you actually
Sorry, go on, Vincent.
Sorry, buddy. No, just like I'm just imagining, because how do you keep your kids not getting too restless or asking like, "Are we there yet?" Like in every 2 seconds. I mean, with these massive drive stints, how do you guys remain like a harmonic family as opposed to at each other's throats when you do these long journeys?
We feed them weed.
Yeah, that's how to do it.
When we start with the van, they start with CBD oil. We tell them that's healthy, and then we go into the THC oil, and then they are pretty quiet for like 48 hours. No, it's not easy. You know, the van is not that big, and but we taught them that on boring times it's beautiful to educate yourself. So mostly we download documentaries, and then in this trip that we are traveling, they watch a documentary or they do their homework. They do all the stuff that they don't want to do when we arrive on a place and where they can do like fun stuff. In the van, you cannot do that much fun stuff. So they use it like very efficiently. Only the youngest one, she's 9. She's terrible. She's terrible in the van. She's up. She's fun. She's in the back. She's asking, can I have drinks? Can I have candy? Can I have this? So we need to stop every 3 hours. And then she goes running around. outside, and then we can let her in again, and we try it again. And that's the truth.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Well, hey, we're talking about Bulgaria. Obviously, I've just seen you there a couple of weeks ago. I've nearly recovered from being hit in the head by quite possibly the world's biggest snowball, which was actually Frosty the Snowman's head, I believe, Didi. Didi, do you want to tell us a bit about what's going on there?
I met Niko a few years ago. He was a Bitcoin miner, Bitcoin maximalist, and we just got along. And he's a very big-hearted guy that really wants to help people and really wants to communicate, the true fundamentals of Bitcoin. But at the same time, he has this goal of building Blockchain Valley in Bulgaria. So what he wants to create over there is this beautiful city where investors meet startups and where they can co-live and co-work together in a beautiful area that is tokenized and fully tokenized, where you can't spend money but only cryptocurrency. And that was just something that was really something which I was searching already for a long time, because I'm a digital nomad. We travel the world, but it's always beautiful if you can spend a part of the time with same-minded people, a part of the year. We spent the time in Thailand. There was a crypto community being built. I spent there 3 years with some beautiful crypto people and projects that were building while having fun in Thailand, and I really liked that. That was something that you need to connect to people now and then, and brainstorm every day about how can we change the world, what can we do to influence people. And that was beautiful in Thailand. And now I met Niko, and he's building the same in Bulgaria. So he asked me to come and visit and check out what do you think about it. So it's 2 million square meters. That is huge. And that caught my attention. I was like, wow, I want to help. Let me become part of the team and let me help and build this blockchain valley, because for me, it's beautiful that there is something being built where the government has no influence in everything, So it's like Legoland that they are building it between Croatia and Serbia. I like the thought that there is not too much influence from the government. And if you can build this in combination with blockchain and startups and investors from all over the world that will combine, and let's say it's the same as the Silicon Valley in the 90s, now you get Blockchain Valley in the 20s, then I want to be part of this, and I want to spend there a few months a year and build and help and think and and do all the things I can do.
Yeah.
And so that's how I met Niko. And when we were in Vegas being body painted, I told Niko, man, come, let me show you some beautiful art, because you're building Blockchain Valley. You have this house full of everything you know about Bitcoin. He has the watch, he has the necklace, he has everything in Bitcoin. So that's how we met Vesa, and he was impressed. I think Vesa can tell it himself as best. He ended up buying some art, I think, and he's a good guy. He's a very good guy.
He's a fantastic guy. He kindly flew me up there to check it all out and do a bit of filming of what's happening there. I was really impressed with the group of guys that are involved in this. I'll put a clip for everyone to have a quick look at that now.
Blockchain Valley is a smart city being built over 2 million square meters of beautiful land, 30 minutes outside of the Bulgarian capital, Sofia. It will have a business park, university, hospitals, entertainment areas, and residential developments. Most importantly, it will utilize blockchain technology and showcase to the world what's happening in the space right now. That really excites us.
So yeah, I spent about a week there with you guys. It was great to catch up with you again, Didi. Get hit in the head with a giant snowball, and actually I haven't seen the snow for about 20 years. It was a great way to begin.
There was snow.
It was. I mean, it's a beautiful piece of land. It's a great group of guys, and I've, as you both know, I think you've had a look at the first episode. I'm creating a series that, as we talked about before, attracting new people into the space, I think is crucial. So I've made episode 1 of a series called The Real Cryptos that's that'll be out in 2 days. So if you're watching this, please subscribe to the channel and check that out.
It's really designed for, I think initially, obviously, the crypto community are going to be the first to see it, but I really want something they can send to their friends and say, have a look at this. This gives you the basics, and as the series moves along, we'll, highlight the, how you can get into crypto, what wallets are, where you can onboard, what the various projects are, what the blockchains do. So for me, it's been a really fascinating journey. I've spent 4 years in this space now. Didi was the first video I ever made, and I've been totally and utterly a Bitcoin site, but I wouldn't say it's born out of frustration. It's actually part of the series that I'm reaching out to these other communities now to understand what they're doing. I mean, obviously, if I'm making a series for newbies, I have to let everybody know about the different projects out there. So for me, this has actually been quite a great way to start a new decade, a new year, to delve a wee bit outside of just BTC and see what's happening out there in these other projects. And really, the key theme of the series moving forward is what actually has a real world use case outside of price speculation. And I found some really, really good projects. That's been heartening. So, just like I guess some of the guys at Blockchain Valley are looking to attract the better projects to be part of that. For me, this is a really exciting journey that I'm on at the moment to talk to these different communities, which I haven't done up until now. I've been a BTC guy. So yeah, I've got some renewed vigor for the space. I think 2020 is looking really interesting. The scammery that sort of tarnished the space. Certainly not as prevalent. It's still there there always will be with this type of thing. But I feel this is an exciting time, and I think having made friendships with guys like yourself, there's some quality people and projects in this space. You can get jaded, and I sort of sense that a little bit of frustration from the start of this chat, Didi. I think it's exciting times ahead. But if somebody doesn't house the Bitcoin family over the next 2 weeks, then I'm out. I'm a Ripple guy. You can have the hat back. You can have that.
No. Sean, it's let's stay positive. Every little thing is going to be all right.
Yeah.
Like Bob Marley always sings. But it's just sometimes I just don't understand those things in life. And and that's what I think people need to see. That's what I like about Blockchain Valley. They are creating this play garden for beautiful projects that can showcase their project in a real working environment.
Yeah.
If you create a vending machine solution, a cryptocurrency vending machine solution, you can put this vending machine in Blockchain Valley and you can really test it.
Yeah.
Before that the whole world is going to use it, because the whole world is not ready yet.
Okay.
You want to sell art and put it on the blockchain, start in Blockchain Valley, Vesa.
Yeah, so Didi, I mean, for anyone watching this, really, I want to hear to highlight some of the great stuff that's happening in Bitcoin that isn't just about earning some interest on your crypto, etc. So for me, it's somewhat of a realization, and you mentioned Andreas Antonopoulos earlier, Vesa. I've revisited a lot of his material recently. And, it was somewhat of a reminder to me that in BTC and Bitcoin, as sort of somebody from a developed nation and living in developed countries, the use case might not be as relevant for us right now. But at the same time, I think it's very important that people from developed countries are talking about these use cases of Bitcoin moving forward. It is getting very lost in most people's minds that this is purely a speculative tool. And as the three of us know, there's so much more to BTC than that. So we'll continue to fight the good fight. But as you say, Didi, it can be frustrating. There are times where I look back and go, oh man, should I have been a shitcoiner from 2017, especially when you see some of these. I know how much success and financially some of these people that have created content in the space have had. So, I've not made a penny. So it's to what degree do I continue talking about Bitcoin from a personal financial point of view and the cost of being in the space? So yeah, we'll see. But like yourself, I think the digital nomad content is probably going to be something I'll be looking at as well this year. It'd be great to do a bit of collaboration with you there. But overall, I'm feeling somewhat invigorated now, reaching out to these other communities and learning a few new things as well. Vesa, any comments on what 2020 has got ahead for you and your thoughts going into it?
I'm really excited about 2020 actually, in a calm and outrageously confident way. I think because 2019 was such a it really started to open up in many different kinds of ways, and I've already been booked to quite a few big shows. There's more commissions coming in. You guys were talking about Niko just a while ago. I think because he collected one from Las Vegas, and now he just reserved the #1 piece that is in as your background, the Didi as the body painted Bitcoin man. And he wants to do a commission now as well about his own sort of journey, which is going to be quite interesting. So he's becoming a big supporter of mine, and it's a privilege to have him as a collector. And I just reflect back on what you guys were saying. If the blockchain valley is going to be developing in the image of its leader, I think it's going to be a good project, because he certainly inspires people who come into his sphere, and he quite authentically wants to support not only his own ventures but what other people are doing, and see if they have some synergy with stuff. So that's great. Right now, tomorrow, I'm flying to Miami for the North American Bitcoin Conference, and I'm forever indebted to them, because the first big break that I got was a free booth from them a couple of years ago for the North American Bitcoin Conference of 2018, and that was quite a thing, because it was also was it 2017 was when the crash was, right? So 2017, and it was an interesting one because I had a free booth. I sold everything that I had, and that was the peak of crypto. And after that, it was a landslide crash to the bear market of where we're still at. But I want to go there and get some sun rays and say hello to some friends. But right after that, it's a commission piece for Tone Vays, because he's doing the Unconfiscatable conference in Las Vegas, 20 to 23rd of February. So it's we just had an hour-long chat, me trying to figure out what his values are, who is about, what the conference is about. And I got a lot of ammunition to make this art piece now about it, which is becoming, because what can't be taken away from you is the major take. It's your education, it's your character, it's your Bitcoin. It's those kinds of things are what you need to invest in, and that can't be confiscated from you no matter what happens in the external world.
Yeah.
And that's what the main gist of what I think he's doing with the conference. He's trying to get that education. He's giving people the tools to be financially independent and those kinds of things, but to represent everything. We talked about Star Wars, we talked about character, the social justice movements and competence and all kinds of things that I need to now somehow figure out and how to put into this art piece. And it's quite a challenge. But it's always exciting when it gets to that point. I really don't know what I'm doing apart from the sphere philosophy way of what it's going to be about. So it's exciting, but it's also a little nerve-wracking because again, I want to do a really good job so everyone's happy at the end, because they're also investing money in order to do this. And it's actually a pretty hard time for conferences, I suppose, altogether, because people don't pay for their tickets in a similar kind of way. Everyone's feeling the bear sting for such a long time. A lot of the projects are running out of their money. I mean, the ICO cash has been mostly liquidated by a lot of the projects that are suffering. And people are starting to critique the high prices of the conferences as well. They're saying, "Why the hell are we paying this stuff?" And some of it is informed. I think a lot of the conferences, they got away with charging quite high prices before. But also some people don't really know what it takes to put together something like the James L. Knight Center in Miami, and what it takes to get all of those people there in order to put that whole show together. So I don't claim to know the inner workings of most of them, but I know a little bit about, especially with regards to the World Crypto Conference and those kinds of things, and what a massive effort it is, a year worth of work. And then all of a sudden, even though you've worked your ass off for a whole year, you might still end up having to pay for the privilege of putting that show up. So it's a double-edged sword, as I suppose. But those are just the first 2 months. And then there's 3 shows after that. There's going to be one in San Francisco, Texas, New York. A lot of back and forth going to America. And yesterday I came from a meeting with Crypto Compare here in London, which was an excellent conference. Last year there was this magnificent thing of having a room full of bankers in inner city London, and then you have Andreas Antonopoulos on stage, who bitch slaps them all so hard that the slap was heard along the Thames River, like outside of London. And that was quite a thing. Let's see how they're going to try and top it this year. But it was certainly, I love that. So for the simple fact that I didn't even speak at that conference, and I just did an exhibition, and people are still coming to me and saying like, "Oh, I saw you at Crypto Compare." So
was that the Craig Wright purchase and the Bobby Lee outburst and so forth? Was that Crypto Compare?
Oh no, that was CC Forum. That was another one by Max.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, Crypto Compare was a little bit before then, and they have a new venue this year. And but yeah, let's see. The first half a year is pretty much booked already. So and commissions are coming in. So that's a high luxury problem for an artist.
Didi, do you how many sort of Bitcoin? Because I know Tone's conference in Vegas and the one he's doing in Malta in April, I believe. They're they're hardcore. Bitcoin BTC conferences. Are there many out there like that, Didi? Do you get invited to sort of the out and out Bitcoin conferences?
No, not as much as you. No, not that much. You know, I'm sometimes I'm lucky, and then a few of them they call you, and if you want to speak. But for me, it's like it's also for me it's a job, Sean. You know, it's a passion that like. Everybody has a passion. For me, the passion is speaking, you know, and now the speaking is becoming a job. As an artist, his passion is creating art, and now art is becoming his job. But at the same time, I can see the same problems all the conferences have, you know, what Vesa is saying. They have a lot of costs, and there are less and less people showing up. So a lot of them, they even, you know, are turning out with negative with negative revenues. So it's difficult at the moment for crypto summits, but it's also difficult to get speakers like me that need to fly all over the world to speak. Because, you know, we also ask them to reimburse the flights or a hotel. So it's a difficult game at the moment, I think, for a lot of summits and everything. So what we try to do is the countries we visit, and that's why we need to plan a little bit more now. So, for example, now I go to Asia next couple of months. Then I know for sure I can go there and speak cheap for those people because they don't have to fly me over. They don't have to pay any other, you know, costs and everything.
Can it be true that people in Bitcoin and BTC are tight asses? Because I won't entertain any chat of a bear market. Bitcoin was below $1,000 only a couple of years ago. So come on, bag holders, get behind this guy. They're a bear market my ass. It's up hundreds of percent.
No, but you have these flows. It needs to go like natural, and everything happens for a reason. And I think what Vesa is doing is amazing, and that happened for a reason. And that is, you know, he's influencing a lot of people all over the world with his talent, and that's why you get invited in there.
They're hodling, Didi. Bitcoiners don't like spending any money.
I'm hodling.
You're tight asses, and you know it.
But hodling is not a talent, Sean. Hodling is not a talent. Are we throwing out the shirts? Okay, guys.
All right. Should we put all that
there? It is time for Plan B. It is time for Plan B. You fill in the dots. But you know, it's growing, you know, and I thought 2020 would be like a very relaxed year.
Yeah.
But till now, I'm doing this week. I'm doing 2 or 3 podcasts. Next week, 2 interviews and a YouTube show. And so yeah, there still is interest in the online community inviting me to speak and everything. And I would love to speak at a lot of conferences this year. But I just go with the flow. When it comes, it comes. If it doesn't come, it doesn't come.
I sent you an email today. Actually, I approached Roger Ver, who surprisingly he got back to me immediately. And yeah, he's keen to have a chat about the series I'm making, and I'd love to get you on a chat with him and another guy in the digital nomad space over the next week. So hopefully you'll agree to that. There'll be some nice content coming up for everyone.
Yeah, cool. For me, Roger Ver, it's a person I really respect in this community. He has done a lot for Bitcoin. He's doing a lot now for Bitcoin Cash. So he's doing a lot for cryptocurrency in the whole. He's a good entrepreneur. So, man, it would be an honor to have a chat with cool. People like him. And every person in this community has his faults or has his strange thoughts or different thoughts.
Yeah.
But, I'm open to everybody and everything because I'm in this for the revolution. For me, it's a revolution. And I think this revolution can only be won if you work together. I keep repeating it.
Yeah.
We can throw
and that's why you're in the art piece, my friend.
But that's the only way, Vesa. The only way we can win and decentralize the world and disrupt the systems is together.
Yeah.
If we focus on throwing snowballs or mud at each other, then the banks will find a solution. The governments will find a solution. They will integrate crypto and blockchain very fast, and then they will overrun our community.
Yeah.
So we need to focus on working together. If some people understand Bitcoin Cash and want to use Bitcoin Cash, please do so. But don't, make it a game. Make it a game like we are making with our life. The game in my life is, how can I not touch a bank? There are multiple options, through cryptocurrency. And if in Bangkok, Dash is supported and accepted, I will spend Dash. And if in BTC City, Slovenia, Bitcoin Cash is accepted, I will use Bitcoin Cash. And if in Holland, Bitcoin is accepted, I will use Bitcoin. And if in Germany, Verge is accepted, I will use Verge. Because those community made it possible for me to use cryptocurrency in that country, in that part of the world.
Yeah.
And that's how I don't touch banks. And that's how I don't support banks. And that's how I don't put money into the bank so they can use it again to grow bigger as they already are. And that's the game we are playing as a family. And if we cannot pay cryptocurrency, we go online. We buy coupons with Bitcoin. We buy coupons with Litecoin. Yeah. And those coupons, we spend them in stores. And again, a way to not spend money through using a bank.
Yeah, correct.
And if we book tickets, we book with Excel Trip online. If we book hotels, we book with Excel Trip online with cryptocurrencies. So we made it a game, how to survive on cryptocurrency solely. And it's already possible. It's possible. It's possible.
And that's why the art piece is called Frontline, because that's frontline. There's nothing more frontline than in Bitcoin than that.
Yeah.
And I actually, to add to something that you were saying earlier, Sean, about how crypto is not so relevant potentially in the West as it is for the unbanked, and that's certainly to a large part true. And I understand what you're saying, but I would challenge anyone who's living even a very comfortable life in somewhere like America or let's say Holland or Finland or wherever. Just go and listen to like 4 or 5 episodes, the 30-minute episodes, punchy as hell, the Andres Antonopoulos talks in the Unscripted podcast. Listen to those and then rethink whether Bitcoin actually touches your life or not. Because even though some things are fairly comfortable here now for a while, it might be overnight that the luxury of any comfort for those who think that they're living in a nice little bubble can be taken away from them. And it's actively actually being taken from underneath people constantly, like nibbling away in terms of inflation or new regulations or banking, like all the kinds of laws and things of what they're doing. So
yeah, no, absolutely. I've spent nearly 4 years writing articles and making videos, and so much of that was inspired by learning from Andreas, meeting Didi. I fully understand where we're heading with cash being removed. I see
Bitcoin as the new cash. Once that happens, governments will have total control over their populations. Once physical cash is removed, I see the use case there. I've learned a lot from Tone Vase with his, unconfiscatable take on things. I totally agree with what he says there. This is the first time in human history we've had an asset that can't be taken off you, or extremely difficult for that to happen. So yeah, for a Westerner, while it's not in our faces right now, you're dead right. It's things that are being eroded, and less people are aware of that right now, and they need to be. And I think that's a large part of the content that I've put out is tried to drive that point across. It is just difficult.
People don't seem to realize that it's just 8% cash left.
Yeah. Not much.
People don't even realize that it's only 8% of the whole, financial system that is still cash. 8.
Mm-hmm.
It will be 0 in no time.
Yeah.
And like I said, I wanted to add to your point, because Sean, I totally know that you know all of this stuff, and that's why I try to address it directly to anyone who's a listener of this who might be thinking along those lines, and that being the whole thing. I know you're well well educated in all things crypto, so that wasn't directed at you. Just to make that clear.
No, fully understand that. I guess what I was, I mean, it just sort of comes back to, it's frustrating because being a BTC media outlet as I have, it's people aren't seeing what's happening. They really aren't, and Bitcoin is we all know, if you're in the trading analysis game in this space, and I like that about Tone. Tone, most people think, okay, he's just there talking about the price of Bitcoin, but we all know that he runs these conferences. I think he uses the trading thing to finance his life, but he does a huge amount to educate people on Bitcoin, and I do rate him for that. But the majority of people in the space, really, you can do very well and have a large following if you're talking about the number go up, the price of Bitcoin. We need more people like Didi, who's on the front line, as you say.
But even on the front line, we are all reaching the same community.
Correct.
If it is through art, or if it is through episodes, or if it is through a lifestyle, it's still all ending up at the same crypto community. And I think it's time for the whole community in 2020 to find a way to reach like the 98% outside of the community.
I'm having a stab at it, and you've I think you've seen the episode. It'll be posted 2 days from people watching this, and that's really my effort to do that. I've tried to, at great personal cost and time, to create some content that people outside of crypto will find interesting and will teach them a bit to bring them in. That's really my big initiative this year. So I hope there is some support from people within crypto to help make that happen. It's not cheap producing content. We all know that. So please have a look at this episode. If you like it, get in touch. Looking for any form of support there. But you're right. It's talking to the same people is a waste of time. We need to grow the space. You guys are doing some great stuff in that regard. So we'll keep fighting that fight.
Well, Sean, when it's coming out, I'll certainly put a hyperlink to the next Gokhshtein magazine as well as News BTC. I'll pump it out there, and I feel your pain. It's like I think what the three of us have in a certain way in common is, like, for example, this art piece with Didi is that it took both of us to fly from Europe to Las Vegas. It was talking and understanding, investing into equipment, and putting this together was like a 3-week process altogether, and a lot of monetary investment in order to make something exceptional and of quality. And when it was shared, as my posts, I've got a pretty lousy social media following, because you can't really do both. Like if you're in social media, the algorithms really reward you for putting stuff out there constantly, and you just say something like "Yay Bitcoin" and it's 2,000 likes and 47 million retweets or whatever, something like that. But to make something of what we did, 50 likes and quite a few retweets was something that was actually quite high for me. But in terms of the actual effort it took to make this art piece, what it represents and how important it is, it didn't almost get, like, it's a ridiculously slow amount of attention that it got for the amount of effort that it is. So making quality things long term, of like what you're doing, Sean, as well, is not being rewarded, not by the algorithms nor by the communities in a certain kind of way, but the intent is not to be for the community to reinforce itself constantly, but by saying, I believe in Bitcoin, therefore anything Bitcoin I like. It's to make these projects that reach outside of our bubbles, like the both of you say, in multiple different kinds of ways. And I think that is done by quality things. That's by reaching people who are leaders of industry, or whatever, just by one Elon Musk tweet of something like Bitcoin is not my safe word. That does a whole lot more than the steam that crypto Twitter can generate within a week, or beyond. I don't think those things are even comparable. But I do believe in the thing that the investment that we're putting into this, it's already been recognized by a bunch of leaders. In my particular case, it's the people who are collecting me or giving me opportunity. In Didi's case, your sponsorship with the both of you, what Niko is doing, and all of these people, we're now finding each other, and it's happening despite our social media reach or the likes. True. Those are two entirely different things. And I think for me personally, a lot of happiness started happening when I realized that I can play this game also in a way that I just go directly to those people who I think are leaders, who are smart enough to get what's going on here, and ask for them for support directly and make quality things that benefit them. And I don't have to spend all of that time on Twitter or Facebook or whatever it is, because it's in terms of return of investment in time, it's fucking just awful.
I hate it.
And you have to spend all of that time not getting a lot of shit done, and then that actually costs you doing something of quality that can do the job we set out to do in the first place. So
no, you're 100% correct. You're 100% correct. I think, it's also fascinating for me right now, just in my group of friends, and people will see this over the coming weeks, real use case of blockchain. I've uncovered some real gems. So it's, in some ways, it's nice to sort of step outside of the just my BTC world that I've been in, and really see actual application happening in these other projects. So it's going to be interesting to see how that's received, because I think most of my following is a Bitcoin crowd, and it is still so goddamn tribal. To a point now where it's funny for me, because when I first came into this space, I almost had imposter syndrome, trying to write articles and create content where everyone else was so unbelievably well versed in the intricacies and technicalities of Bitcoin. That sort of started to change quite a bit for me now, where I'll have somebody literally preaching the vitriolically about a certain thing that often has a hell of a lot of self-interest behind it, where I now realize, okay, I actually know more than you. That's happened recently in a few videos I've made, yet to be published. But I'm over that tribalism. That doesn't interest me anymore. This is all about, okay, what have we got? What is a use case, and to trumpet that in. And for the use cases of Bitcoin, I still have such a passion for. They're really good ones. And I'm definitely going to do my best to tell the world about that, and with a lot more knowledge than I've had previously. And thanks, Didi, for your time in the filming we've done so far. And Vesa, man, it's about time you and I meet.
Yeah, fuck yeah, brother.
This is like being 7 years old again and having a pen pal. But at least you talk back. My pen pal, I never wrote back.
Sean, people know what pen pals are. They are younger than us. That's
true. Yeah, that shocked me when I was at Blockchain Valley with all you guys, Didi. I looked around and went, holy shit, I'm the oldest guy here. So,
a friend of mine told me an example at I went to the gym, and there's this spa section there. There's a sauna and a jacuzzi thing. We were sitting in the sauna with a training buddy of mine, and he just said that because I mentioned that I'm an 80s kid, and he said he's a 90s kid, and he had just a guy because he has a floppy disk. And there was a kid who came to him and, oh, that's so cool. You 3D printed the save icon as a physical thing. He was like, oh, fuck.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. So
The world is changing. 2020 will be
indeed.
full of connections like we are making now. And I think artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and blockchain will be more integrated as well. So I think we will see a kick-ass, beautiful solutions. They don't all want to focus on replacing the financial system. So also the other parts and the other cryptocurrency and blockchain projects. I think 2020 is going to be a very strange and special year. It already feels like it's going to be a special year. Don't you think, Vesa?
I really have
going to be a special year, I think, as well.
It's like the roaring 20s are back here again. That was another realization just a while ago, is that we're now, like, just a while ago, the 20s meant these sort of skimpy, like, black and white movie, like just sort of jazz type of thing or whatever. And now we're living in it. So, what? So I totally share your point of view with regards to the comment that you said earlier, Sean, because I mentioned this to Didi, and yesterday when I had the meeting with Crypto Compare, I recommended that Didi should come and talk there. Because it's multifold, because in conferences, if you want to have these things there, they can't be just pitching contests for companies to come in, and you can't just have speakers who pay for you to be on the stage to pitch to people who've paid to be there. It's just, that's the real fuckery that is going on. That's why people are tuning out, because they realize that, okay, we don't have the money, but everyone's milking the cow here in a certain kind of way. So they need people like you, Didi, on those stages. You might do a little self-promotion at the end saying, like, yeah, this is the family, if you want to support us, cool. But before, up until there, you're just educating, inspiring, and helping people become better humans and helping the planet along the way. And you leave no one cold when you do that. And these conferences need fucking people like you on those stages, because otherwise they feel cheated when they come out of there. It's not only that you can do some networking while you're being pitched at. No, someone needs to feed you inspiration in order for you to be in this space. And that's what you do. And they need quality content like you do, Sean. So maybe I can, because Maximilian, yesterday when we talked, I recommended that you should come and talk there. Maybe that would be the way that we finally meet, because it's in March, that if Sean, if it's somehow possible, maybe you could get a sponsorship or something like that. If they invited you to come and do some media and help people know about the Crypto Compare conference in the East, more of that, maybe there's an angle there, and maybe we could all just have our next group sort of high five in London. That would be pretty awesome, I think.
Awesome. Yeah, well, look, I'll be posting the first episode of the series I'm making. It's intended to be a somewhat of a behind the scenes look at the characters in the crypto space, and primarily to onboard new people, to let them know about crypto, what it is, why they really need to know about it in a sequential manner. So yeah, if you could just share that episode around, show it to these guys if they think it's valuable, then we could come up and document what they're doing, and that'll be a wonderful chance to meet you.
Let's be honest, Sean.
I'll send it to Max right after this. Right. Sorry. No, it's just I'll send the episode to Max right after this. So.
And let's be honest, I already saw the preview of the episode. It's like, this is quality. It's really cool. It's really cool. People will love it. People will love it. Next one, Vesa needs to be.
Yeah, thanks very much. All right, guys. So, Vesa, you're off to Miami tomorrow. Didi,
tomorrow.
Didi, you're not too sure. We'll see if we find your Bitcoin home somewhere.
To end the episode, Vesa is flying off to Miami, and he will see some really big tits over there, I think.
I gotta show you guys something that happens, because basically just a while ago when I flew to Las Vegas with my lady, we had a whole row of 3 seats to ourselves, and we had this what can be only described as a boomer guy sitting in front of us, and let's say he wasn't a nutritionist by trade, and this guy was smelling like, he was just constantly fucking farting the whole way through of this 11-hour flight from London to Las Vegas. So in order to protect myself, what I realized what to do, because it's a 10-hour flight again to Miami, and in order for this to never happen again, I swear to God, this fucking happened. We fell asleep for a little bit, and Lotta was in my lap like this, and her face was up like this, and we both just a little bit nodded off like that, and this guy let rip just something so bad that the both of us blinked our eyes open at the same time as it hit our faces. Like, I could smell his fucking shit in my mouth as we were walking out of the airplane in Las Vegas. So it was quite a welcome to there. So basically what I did is that I put eucalyptus and peppermint into this face mask that I now have for traveling everywhere, because I'm never going in an airplane for 11 fucking hours smelling someone's fart again in my life.
Hold on your farts, people. Hold on your farts. When you're on a plane.
Motherfucker, go to the toilet. It's not that difficult. Jesus.
The romance of travel. The romance of travel.
The Bitcoin sock, put it in the ass. There's running around with this mask. Don't do it like in Austria. They won't understand the joke.
What?
They have some gas.
I'm not flying without a mask. That's all I can tell you.
All right, guys. Let's catch up in the next week or two and hear about Miami, and we're in Bulgaria, I guess, in a week or so, Didi.
Probably around the 20th, we will be in Bulgaria.
Okay, cool. Well, let's do a show from Bitcoin Valley and hear how Miami was. That'll be fun.
Cool, guys.
I think Miami will be a little bit warmer.
I'm certainly hoping so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jealous
putting
putting it mildly right now.
Hey, dude, the both of you, where you live and where I have to be, like most of the time here in London, you got none of you have a thing to say at me right now.
This is true. This is true.
Sure.
Right. I'm going to get, so I'm heading the streets tonight. I'm just going to get out there, talk about Bitcoin. I'm going to sell it.
Awesome.
It's on.
But, Sean, we need to teach the audience and tell the audience the way you look now. We went into the most fancy club of Sofia with 20 guys, all dressed like this.
True.
Yeah,
I'll put a clip of that right here.
What's the opposite motion of a mass adoption? You know, you're inspiring like mass extinction right now.
Exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't consider myself the poster child of Bitcoin right now. This. Get your Bitcoins! All right, guys, always a pleasure, always fun, and always informative and inspiring and uplifting when I talk to you two. I really enjoy our chat. So thanks so much for your time once again.
Much respect, both of you.
Excellent.
Hope to see you soon, guys. Hope to see you soon in 2020.
Speak to you soon, guys. Catch you later.